Good afternoon. Today at the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons annual meeting, we're speaking with Dr. Kirschenbaum, who is the chair of orthopedics at Bronx Care Health System. Dr. Kirschenbaum is also the founder and editor of the JOEI journal. And I'd love to hear a little bit about who you are, where you are, what you do, and learn more about JOEI.
Oh, thanks. First of all, it's great to be here with you, and I appreciate the opportunity to talk to you about it. JOEI stands for the Journal of Orthopedic Experience and Innovation, the JOEI. The concept behind JOEI was that there was a void in how we were getting information to orthopedic surgeons, and also difficulty for certain orthopedic surgeons to tell their stories in the standard journals due to a lot of restrictions that are probably not worth going into, but except that certain articles just don't lend themselves to double-blind studies prospective, and sometimes it's somebody's experience or a new innovation. We started the journal exactly 2 years ago, March 14th, 2020.
Nice.
On March 12th, 2022, we went over 100,000 page views and 43,000 unique visitors, which is really remarkable response. Some of our articles have been extremely popular. We've had close to 30 articles that have gotten at least 500 page views.
Wow.
Which is a lot of page views in orthopedics.
Yeah, and it's a very focused community. The people that are going there are not just random people. These are people that are in our community that want to learn about the technology.
We're a general journal, so it's not one specialty. So we have business articles, we have clinical articles, we have case reports, we have studies based on experience. Some of our more popular articles, one was on private equity in orthopedic groups, which was a very popular article, 8,000 page views.
Oh.
Plus we had a journal club online that sold out.
Fantastic.
We had a limit of 100. I didn't buy the extended Zoom license. I didn't think we'd need it.
Yeah.
And 100 people signed up, and quite a few made it. So it was a drop-off.
Yeah.
We also, another very popular article was Dr. Charles DeCook, who's in Atlanta. He did an article for us, 12 by 12, extreme time transparency to achieve efficiency in the OR. He gets 12 joints by 12 noon.
It's incredible that that's even possible.
Yep, and that got 3,500 page views.
Oh, I believe it.
Dr. Paul Sethi out of ONS in Greenwich,
Okay.
750 page views on opioid sparing techniques in shoulder surgery, where he was transparent about all of his protocols. So that's kind of the range, and sometimes we even have FAQs on innovation. So someone has an early innovation, very early, and we just think it's cool.
Yeah.
So the editorial board will develop questions for them,
Yeah.
and they'll answer them, and we'll produce that.
And that's what I really like. This isn't just a magazine.
No.
This is a peer-reviewed journal.
Peer-reviewed.
You've got the docs, a lot of docs that I follow on LinkedIn and I think are well-known in the industry. So I think that's just a critical part of it.
We have a great editorial board. We average over 5 reviewers per article.
Incredible.
Yeah, most journals could barely get 2. We average 5.
And the speed, it seems like a lot of content can come out quickly.
Yep.
It's very efficient in this model.
It is. We use a very good platform that we've modified ourselves. Peer review process is 3 weeks, and the reviewers know it. They got 3 weeks to review.
That's incredible.
Then we do accept, reject, revision, and they have another 3 weeks to get that done. So at 6 weeks, we have a final decision. The thing that slows us up is we can't post everything all at once.
Yes.
We don't have issues. We do rolling.
That's right.
But I've been amazed at the response of how innovative so many of the articles are and what's going on out there. Like I would have to go to a meeting and talk to a guy at a booth or a woman at a booth.
You normally have to do that. So how do you feel about some of the technologies that people are publishing the new enabling technologies.
Yep.
What do you see that your readers are interested in? What kind of tech?
I think there's a number of things. First of all, anything that is going to improve the patient outcomes or improve the surgeon decision making is very popular, okay? For example, we can have like the virtual reality and the augmented reality articles, very popular because they have been proven to really change the game in surgical planning and surgical precision, practicing beforehand, training residents, and we have a number of articles on that. But that's a trend that I think is a game changer. I think the biggest trend is going to be in machine learning and AI, specifically related to predictive analytics to answer specific questions that are both in business as well as in clinical. You're really going to need it in both. For example, wouldn't it be amazing from the database of my patients to find out that that patient in front of me, based on what I put in to the AI machine learning database, has a higher risk than normal of a readmission? Wouldn't that would just be a remarkable thing, or a higher risk of opioid addiction, or a lower risk of being able to stop smoking, or no chance of losing weight. You know, predictive analytics rather than me getting a hunch and looking at that way.
Yeah, I think that's an important part for surgeons. You want to be able to care for that person, and you're using your experience through many, many years of practicing and seeing patients. And it's probably an intuition for you.
Well, the intuition, though, has inherent bias.
It does. Yeah.
And there was a great article we published called Fairness in AI, which talked about, that was a very popular article, that talked about the programmer's bias in the AI, so we have to watch that as well. But I think the predictive analytics in the treatment plans and the machine learning related to the business aspects, which will give you an idea of how well you'll be doing in this type of venture or another type. Because in the end, there's nothing wrong about the B word, the business word. I mean, you have to stay in business to put the lights on.
You do.
And
you do.
So I think we're just touching the surface of taking program predictive analytics and moving it into machine learning, AI predictive analytics.
Yeah, and that's where data is so important, right? And the segmentation of that data and the organization of it. So it's really exciting that you're heading in that direction.
Because we are.
With such a large number that you have that have come through there, it's a pretty big hospital.
Yeah,
pretty big
we have
system.
1.15 million clinic visits a year. We're in the poorest congressional district in the United States, but as a safety net hospital, I think we have possibly the largest full-time faculty of any safety net hospital in the country in orthopedics, 17 surgeons who are full-time dedicated. They don't come in and out from an academic center. They're full-time employed by the hospital. We do over 50,000 clinic visits, over 2,500 major operations a year. But we also developed our own database using a program called TrackVia, which is like a Salesforce.com type of platform, just an open source platform. But we have now close to 60,000 patient interactions on our own database, but we're not pulling enough AI out of it. We're not pulling enough predictive analytics out of it. And we'd like to put some smart machine learning on top of those 60,000 records we have.
And that's what I love about coming to meetings like this and seeing you in person. We've been chatting for months about, we have an event tomorrow night that we're co-sponsoring. But we didn't have a chance until we were here to be able to actually talk about the data that you're looking at. And there's so many ways we've looked at data in the past. We have a new partnership with a hospital we'll be announcing in about August timeframe.
Okay.
Which is a kind of similar scenario that has a lot of data and then wants to do things with it. So this is something we're really excited to talk to you about as well.
And we'd be very interested in that. I mean, just things like referral data, how people get referred in.
Oh, it's incredible. And the way we look at things is there might be things in there that we could help you with, but even if it isn't, we like to help companies and hospitals and other systems figure out what their plan is.
Yep.
Let them know, hey, have you looked into this? Have you looked into that? Because we're aware of kind of everything that's going on, looking at everything. We can only do certain things ourselves, but there's a lot of opportunities ahead.
I agree.
And it's an exciting time. I felt like most surgeons, and the surgery you perform most often, what
Well,
do you consider
I
yourself?
got out of the OR a few years ago because I had both my knees done, but my surgery entirely was hip and knee replacements.
Hip and knee replacement.
Yeah.
Did you choose the doctor? Did you choose like
Yes, I did.
the exact implant that you were getting?
No, I chose the doctor, but I said whatever implant you use,
That's
just put
amazing.
it in.
So
Yeah.
you live by how you expected your patients to come in too.
Yeah, I didn't micromanage any aspect of my doctor.
It's funny, as an engineer who used to design knees, I had some knee injuries a few years ago, and the doctor was saying, you know, your knees aren't looking so good. I started getting concerned about needing a replacement. I am going to absolutely micromanage it.
Right.
I will 3D print it, custom to my exact anatomy.
Right.
And,
I actually went about 4 hours after my surgery. I turned to my surgeon, Craig McAllister, and I said, "By the way, what did you put in?"
so what did you end up getting?
I ended up getting a striker knee.
Okay, the triathlon?
The triathlon.
Okay.
And he did it with navigation. I flew out to Seattle to get it done because we were residency buddies.
Nice.
The joke I like to say, I live in New York City and work in New York City, but the joke I always say when I am at the podium is, you know, you really can't find a good joint surgeon in New York City. So I had to go to Seattle, and of course that's beyond not true.
Not true at all, yeah.
But Craig was a good friend, and I trusted him inherently.
Yeah, that's such an important part of it. And it's interesting to be on the patient side now.
Oh, absolutely.
So you're how many years out?
I finished my fellowship at the Rothman Institute in 1991.
Oh, wow. Okay,
Yeah.
so fair amount of practicing, and then
30 years of surgery.
Yeah.
And the last 3 to 5 years of building the program, building the administration. Really more of a builder at heart.
That's great.
And
That's
it's
great.
between the department, the journal, lectures here at the academy. We work a lot on social disparities of health, and we're very interested in mining that data to learn more about that community. So
That's
it's
fantastic.
it will be a good partnership.
Well, this is great. I really appreciate you coming out today and spending time with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Same.